I would love it to be a studio here in Virginia Beach that is as good as a studio in New York City, Boston, LA. That, you know, but at the same time keeping it like real nimble, you know, keeping it like being able to like, you know, if growing contract per job. You know, there's actually a small company in LA. I think they're called, is it? I think Prologue or Psyop, I can't remember. But they're there too. They kind of just come together. They have a lot of almost like permalancers, just come and go. You know, just kind of letting it. Because I think that for me, what I found, I think artists sometimes can be kind of scatterbrained, and to be able to have one there like from 9 to 5, 9 to 10, it's like in the long run it's gonna fail. Either they're gonna leave. You know, they just kind of like that kind of. And they also don't like being told what to do. So that is kind of like, just my mentality is just kind of like, we can just make it a way they can come in and out, correct per project, just works great. Yes?
I'm always worried about rights. So, you know, your dubbing of your tracks, your music tracks that were in there, did you buy that from the artist? Did you have a licensing? I mean, how if I was the writer of that music and you took that,
Yeah.
how am I compensated for that?
Oh, for this work, we're not sell, for reels and stuff like that, we don't sell it. We're just not for profit. This is not something that is gonna go anywhere that will gain us money. This is just kind of like, almost like, that's like my resume, basically. So that's kind of like understood like in the artist community that this is not a, if I started making money off my reel, then that'd be a problem. So that's why there's no rights involved in that.
But like one of your you had ESPN up there. You had their logo.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if you're going to get a phone call from the ESPN legal department.
Oh no, because this is my resume. It'd be like if I put ESPN on my resume. No, they're not gonna call.
And they're okay with that.
They're okay with that. Yeah. Yeah.
In the time that you've been here, have you met others in the creative community that do video, that do graphics in the area? And if so, do you think that's a market that has some good talent here that could be growing?
Yeah, I met people from Studio Center, O'Brien and Tal, and a couple people from Davis Agency. It's a limited talent pool. I would say that's one thing probably that's one of the more difficult to hear. There's nobody kind of that's like a very big experts of motion graphics.
Yeah.
So there's like a certain level, but there's not the cream of the crop. Again, that also is because they would be in New York, Boston, LA.
Have you heard of a firm called Ironclad?
Yeah, Ironclad. I mean, they're really good, but they shoot. They're just editors. But yeah, but their stuff is like, they're all. I actually met them too. They're right behind them, 25th and a half, I think.
Yeah,
they're super. Their stuff's beautiful. But yeah, they're.
But the mixing of the different formats, like infographics now is big.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't care for them, but again, that seems to be the hot thing today. So the mixing of live video or what Ironclad does, which you do, infographics certainly can be something that could be unique out there in the marketplace through collaborations.
Yeah, and actually, that's probably, to tell you the truth, that helps me a lot, because I'm not sure, this sounds kind of braggy, but there's nobody here like me around here. So that's kind of like, that really helps me get more clients, because I can offer you a much higher level of expertise than anybody around. Yeah.
So why Virginia Beach?
Well, as you saw, I have the 2 children.
Yeah.
My wife's from here, so we came here from Boston. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So where did you go to school?
I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh.
Oh, you went to Art Institute?
Yep. So, yeah, the Art Institute of Pittsburgh.
That's cool.
Students, do you have any questions? Haven't heard much from you guys. Okay.
So you said you were a Street Fighter fan.
Yeah.
I really like fighting games as well, and this is just like off base, but the next question is definitely on base. Did you like the fact that they mixed the Kuma into Tekken 7?
You know, I never played Tekken 7. I like playing Tekken, but I played it such a long time ago. I never really liked the crossbreeds like Capcom versus Street Fighter or X-Men, which I think they're alright, but never. I like more like the.
And now for the second question, now say if I was like, I'm going to be a broke college student a couple months from now, I'm going to graduate. Now, would you have like any budgeting leeway for broke college students, or like say I wanted to give you $2,000, would you be able to work with that?
For sure, I mean, for like, for me to create something for you?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, and that's what I was trying to say earlier about that, even if people have limited budget, we could find we could find something that can fit your budget and your needs in different templated work. But basically what it is that work is just as less amount of review, the kind of stuff that's kind of like almost pre-manufactured, it's kind of certain looks already haven't been made, and you just have like less changes you can make.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you offer internships?
You know, I haven't. I'm thinking about it. That's one thing that I'm trying to wrestle right now. If I want to get a space that I can get more desks and things like that for people to kind of like, because I think it'd be great to actually have people here that know kind of like our process. So that's kind of something that I'm wrestling with, I guess. Yes.
Yeah, along with that, I was wondering, have you thought about outsourcing any of this stuff, some of the easy stuff that overseas? Have you done any outsourcing?
You know, I have not done any outsourcing, and honestly, what I get really nervous is that it's gonna come back like double the work. Like it's gonna come back where I don't like it, and then I have to just redo the work again. So I just get more nervous about that, so.
At the beginning of your presentation, you said you love video games. What changed your path from creating video games to doing the advertising?
Well, when I went to school for the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, I studied media arts and animation, which is kind of like a generalist for animator. We learned how to do like cell animation, video games, and different types of animation. And for me, what I learned, the video game industry is kind of like how can I explain it? Well, my professor told, I was engaged. So my professor told me, if you're gonna have a relationship, I don't recommend you going into the video game industry. It's like an all-in kind of job, you know? Because you're gonna go to work, and then you're gonna stay there and play video games all night. Then you're gonna come in tomorrow, and they're gonna stay there and play video games all night. And most of those guys work Monday through Sunday. So it's, but they love it, you know? The girls and the guys, you know, whatever, they love it. But it's like a job that you just don't ever, and also it's a job that you can be very easily replaced because so many people want to do video games. So if you're like, I don't like this, it's like, no problem. It's like 10,000 of you behind you, so. Yeah, yes?
You seem quite well established. So, first of all, how long have you been here in Virginia Beach? And second of all, what are you looking for here from 1 Million Cups?
I've been here in Virginia Beach, I guess I've been in Virginia Beach about 3 years. I started animation for about a year ago. And there's two things I kind of looking for for 1 Million Cups to get advice. One is I have sometimes trouble trying to sell or meet groups in the community because a lot of my work is like very high end, like ESPN, stuff like that. So some people, when they look at my stuff, they're like, well, we can't afford him, or he doesn't suit our needs. So that's kind of something I'm trying to really kind of get over, you know, because actually we can do just different kind of work, and that's not a problem. And the only one thing that really helped my career during being as an animator is I had mentors who showed me how to do animation and different stuff correctly. And probably having like a business mentor would be like really, really great for me. Sometimes it feels like I'm faking it while I'm making it. So,
Anybody else feel that way?
That's our motto, we talk about it.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure you are trying to get some talent from this area, but are you working with other people? Basically, you don't have to be in the same office anymore to do anything.
Yeah.
So do you work with other designers from like New York or LA?
Yeah, like our primary designer works in Boston, and there's another gentleman I use for a lot of motion graphics who works in New York. He just lives in Staten Island. And then also there's a company that does all our music in Richmond, and also there's another company that does music in New York City, in Astoria, New York, that helps us do our music too. So yeah, so now it just really doesn't matter where you are, really.
Okay.
So for me, it's mainly almost like knowing the person, having a personal relationship with. That's how I usually like to hire or not farm out, but just give a piece of the project.
When you said music, something just sparked. When you do a video, which came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing? Do you think about the music? I noticed how effective your music was, and you kind of had the whole
Yeah.
group looking. Is it a sketch first, and then how does that music come
Usually
with
music's
the video?
first, actually.
Music's
It's a lot
first.
of, especially if it's a longer piece,
Okay.
because music a lot of times has like certain beats and things built into
Right.
it. So usually we like to do like script, voiceover, music, and that's like the base.
Okay.
then and usually while the voiceovers, all the stuff's going on, we're making like storyboards and things, because then we know the script.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually
That's interesting.
yeah, because that's kind of like,
Great.
that's like really the bed of everything, that really drives, and music has such an emotional feel to everything, you know, so it just, you gotta know kind of like what the emotion of the project is.
So with the music, do you have an artist who puts that does your music? Because, you know, unless you're gonna buy somebody's stuff, or do you do those bets that they do like in the radio stations, or?
So there's two things we do. Sometimes we do, the gentleman in Astoria, New York, he does our custom graphics, like the one for the one you saw, the betting company, that's custom. And if not, we should go to royalty-free places to give music, to either to like companies like Pond 5, or there's different companies that sell like royalty-free music, and then we use that. And our editor usually kind of makes it, like lays them together. So.
Would you ever consider interning students who are musical that do beats, that would bring somebody in and have them put some music, say, here's what we're trying to do, what would you do for this?
Yeah, for sure. It's always, everybody, we always get to have a different perspective, so that, yeah, for sure. Yes?
With your Pure Care that they spent 13 grand on, what was their feedback to you as to how their sales went up?
You know, they didn't tell me exactly how their sales did. I know they were really happy with the product. Actually, we've been in contact with them to do a new project for them as well. So they didn't tell, if I could show you the stuff they got before, you'd be really surprised, you know. So I guess they were really happy with the process, the budget, and then at the end of the day, they still keep in contact to try to do more work. So I guess that's the way I could gauge the success of it. It's kind of like for they have 2 markets every year. I'm not sure how much that raised, but they have big rooms and showrooms they need to put, like, they have screens, they have to show stuff. So I'm not sure how much that raises their value, their return on investment.
Sometimes it's image building, you know, it just projects your image and puts you as a, you know, professionally, it makes your company look so professional.
Yeah.
With marketing.
Would you say that, like, there are certain clients who kind of like get it and some who don't?
Yeah.
And so, like, in my experience, it seems like clients who get the process understand that they have to be a part of the process. Like, they're kind of collaborators. You know, so have you run into clients where there's like one client that's really difficult to get in touch with them, and they just kind of feel like you're just gonna create something amazing, and then they're gonna come back a month later and it's gonna be wonderful, you know? Or do you kind of like mandate that clients have to stay a part of the process in order for it to be complete? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's like a kind of two-way street, because there's clients that don't know what they're doing, you know, like that. But there's clients that really do, that is broadcast agencies, which can they be both very, well, some people are not reach out to you a lot, and some people are going to be so demanding that you need to have stuff for them all the time. Like, they'll call you like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., be like, I need this change, you know. So they can be highly demanding. What I would say with that is you have to be flexible, because this is not, it's kind of like, this is not yours. This is their product, you know, and they can do whatever they want. If they want to, like, put a big turd burger on it, you know, it's theirs. You know what I mean? That's true. I mean, yeah, if they know what they're doing, they're not going to mess up their product, because what you got to remember is they're hiring you, and their job also depends on your performance. That's the thing about something that's going to be difficult, because the creative director, whoever's hiring from that company, also needs to look good for their company. So that, you know, you got to work. They're working hand in hand, because your performance also depends how they're going to be perceived at their own company as well. So just kind of almost like go with the flow, and just help, and that's how they do it. That's how they, you know.
So with that, have you had projects that they're steering you down this road to do something cheesy, and you're just like gagging a little bit and just have to do it because
yeah,
that's what they
definitely.
want?
And I have projects that come full circle. Like, we start at the beginning, this is what they give them, like, no, and they change it, we're back to the beginning. And they're like, I love it. You're like, we love it.
Good.
Everybody loves it. So, yeah.
So how does the process work? Let's say we are a customer and, you know, we have this product. Then, like, with the fees and the design work, like, first I guess we describe the product, and then there's a payment to be done, and then in the progress, like, you know, we work and we don't like it.
Well, basically, so first with me, we talk about kind of like what your needs, what you're looking for, whatever, and then we'll give you like a pitch. So either like kind of like, this is what we say we believe we can do for you. These are the costs involved and everything. Of course, we hammer that out. Once that comes, usually what we try to do is do a work back schedule. So we try to figure out like when this is due at this time, this is due at this time, and this is due at this time. One thing I like to do is send as many reviews as we can. So throughout the entire process, you're never surprised what's gonna happen. You know, like, so basically we gave you like style guides, storyboards, everything's kind of evolving to get better, you know, as the process goes along, so you're never surprised. I'm lucky, I guess I've never had anybody like in the middle of a project just be like completely frustrated. The closest I ever came to that, when I worked at Viewpoint Creative, we worked for A&E for doing their, they're called upfronts. Every year, the networks get together and make this video to show commercial people to buy time for their network. So make like sizzle reels to be like, hey, this is what we're doing next year, buy time in our network. We worked with an art director from A&E, and he changed our look maybe 4 times. Well, it became super time intensive, and they had really tight deadline. What ended up happening is the creative director ended up getting fired from A&E just because he spent so much A&E's money for us to keep changing it. So usually that never works just because everybody's seeing the process, but if not, it's just, you know, a big waste of time and looks really bad for the company.
Okay. So like, you know, if you started the project, let's say, you know, we are progressing, but we are not going, you know, you don't understand them or they don't understand you.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, well, I don't think it's going to work. So what happens then?
Well, if it's like that, then, you know, I mean, if we're amicable, I mean, we have a contract right out. Usually what we do is, if there's a clause in the thing that they'll pay us for work completed. But if it's something that we understand, nobody understood, like we could not get your idea, you can not get the idea, then we'll just, you know, we'll wash our hands and we walk away.
Okay.
You know, but unless it's like a really great amount of work have been done.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it can be, you know, creating an initial design, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, that's why we sign contracts, to make sure that, like, you know, nobody's gonna get bamboozled.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Have you developed an online marketing strategy? I mean, I know you're not in sales, but obviously you want to sell your product to get the word out there. So have you developed a specific online marketing strategy with social media as well as networking with industry referral or networking with industry professionals like on LinkedIn or anything like that?
I don't have like, I would say no for the strategy. We are in LinkedIn, we are in all the things, you know, we have a website, LinkedIn, Instagram, everything, and we just kind of post what we're doing. But I would say I have not seen any money come in that way, or companies hiring us through internet-based. Basically, it seems more like it's like people for like that do our industry that like it. Oh, like that's great. Look what they're doing. There's more like self-promotion within, almost like within the community. That's what it seems like to be more than business, than revenue.
Do you have a Twitter account?
I do.
And do you guys post on there as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They usually kind of like we post like Instagram and then feed it out, you know. So.
So I know you mentioned one of your things was attracting small business after they see like the ESPN stuff.
Yeah.
And I get that because I'd be like, oh my god, I can't afford that. So maybe something that would work is, because that's a good thing to show that like I have a lot of skills, because obviously I see that I'm like, oh my gosh, you work for ESPN, you must be really good. But then have like a reel of work you've done with small businesses that you can show them too. It's like, oh, I know them, I'm on their level. If they can afford a video, I can afford a video too. It might open doors a little bit. They can see smaller fish too that are able to afford videos.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Do you have some kind of demo or have you put something together?
The closest I have is that corporate reel that I showed earlier. That has like the stuff from MIAC and Equifax. That's the closest I have for the corporate reel. So, but yeah.
And I know your time is very limited with children and this business, but I think you're probably your best sales tool because of your presentation. You're very at ease and speak in layman's terms, and for those of us, but yet your resume clearly is, you know, from your experience that we've heard, is there. So I know you can't possibly meet with a lot of people, but I think that would be something if you could somehow incorporate, pick 4 or 5 industry organizations or Virginia Beach schools or wherever that we can help you in that door. And then begin, work from that nucleus out. Because I think you are terrific and you could probably reach very large groups in this style.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Mhm.
Mental note.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Anything else?
Yeah.
So what can 1 million cups do for you?
Well, I guess just introductions and guidance, I know there's a lot of people here have like a lot of experience with creating business, helping entrepreneurs and everything like that. So just kind of like, I'd rather miss the pitfalls than learn from my mistakes.
Thank you.